Okay, so just a reminder, who AOC is, because this was breaking right before the show. She endorsed Mamdani, but just a little earlier this week, she made a different kind of news, at least in our circles.
I would say that the United States, our responsibility is to the stability and the security of the region. That means being able to support, not support, yes, Israel in its defensive capacities, right? In its ability, in that context.
That is a hell of a thing to say on June whatever 2025.
Yep. So don't forget who she is, folks.
Yeah.
I know you don't need to be told that, but just a reminder. All right, so AOC endorses Zohran Mamdani as top choice for mayor. She did this in an exclusive interview with the New York Times. Assemblymember Mamdani has demonstrated a real ability on the ground to put together a coalition of working class New Yorkers who are likely to end up being embittered and turn against politics altogether, as many of those who backed Bernie Sanders did. That's my editorial interjection.
Right.
Working class New Yorkers that is strongest to lead the pack, Ms. Ocasio Cortez said. In the final stretch of the race, we need to get very real about that. Time is of the essence. With just weeks left before the June 24th Democratic primary, Mr. Cuomo has maintained a steady polling lead, stirring memories of 2021 when progressives did not coalesce and lost the mayoralty to a moderate. In elevating the assemblyman, Ms. Ocasio Cortez, 35, chose the candidate closest to her own mold. Mr. Mamdani, 33, is a leftist representing Queens, a millennial, and a person of color who entered the race as a long shot only to jump to second place by igniting grassroots support with memorable policy proposals and viral videos. His platform echoes the Congresswoman's and has inspired pushback from more moderate Democrats. He wants to make the city buses free, freeze rent increases on rent stabilized apartments, and open city run grocery stores, all funded by a $10 billion tax hike on businesses and the super rich. He has also been a sharp critic of Israel. But Ms. Ocasio Cortez stressed that to defeat Mr. Cuomo, a moderate who she said belongs to the hedge funds and other wealthy interests funding his campaign, the left would have to build a bigger tent and urgently begin working more collaboratively. To that end, the Congresswoman said she would rank Adrienne Adams second, citing her record as city council speaker and Ms. Adams's genuine inroads and connections in working class black and brown communities like the ones Ms. Ocasio Cortez represents in the Bronx and Queens. See, now that is the AOC shuffle. You notice how she can't mention a single policy thing that she represents? So, Adrienne Adams, we covered this in the previous segment. She's a corporate lawyer who, in the course of the debate, bent the knee and said her first foreign trip would be to the Holy Land. I'm assuming she doesn't mean Jordan when she says that, or Saudi Arabia. She means Israel. Um, and she also identified Hakeem Jeffries as the country's most effective Democrat. So never forget who she is. She plans to rank Brad Lander, the city comptroller, third, followed by Scott Stringer, a former comptroller, and Zelnor Myrie, a state senator from Brooklyn. Several of the candidates hold positions to the Congresswoman's right. His 2021 mayoral endorsement, almost exactly 4 years ago, helped give Maya D. Wiley, another progressive, some late momentum, but she still lost. Since then, strategists on the left have lamented that they failed to follow a cohesive ranked choice strategy, allowing Eric Adams, a moderate, no, he's not a moderate, he was a Republican for 20 years who ran as a Democrat because it's a Democrat town, former police officer, to narrowly claim victory. Mr. Adams is running for re-election as an independent. So this follows Mamdani also picking up the UAW endorsement this week. This is what he said. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a once-in-a-generation leader who has led the fight for working people in Congress. Yeah, sure she has. In 2018, she shocked the world and transformed our politics. On June 24th, with AOC's support and this movement behind us, we will do the same. And of course, I mean, that's the model. If he wins, it's going to be a Joe Crowley thing where nobody saw it coming and he was running against somebody nobody liked, so was able to squeak through. And this is the ranking from the UAW: Zohran Mamdani, Brad Lander, and Jessica Ramos. Brad Lander, having watched him last night, I got to say, I don't know how a guy who reads as such a zero, who just got back from correcting his underwear after a wedgie in the locker room, got that far in politics that he was on that stage. But that guy, that guy could lose to Sliwa if he were the nominee. but that's not going to happen. So he picks up the coveted AOC endorsement. And hey, man, as we said in the previous segment, there could definitely be an upset in the primary, but that would likely go to a 3 or 4-way race that it is hard to imagine Zohran Mamdani winning.
Yeah, and I think it was a question of would AOC get involved? Obviously, the progressives in and around New York City have been upset with her taking as long as she has to have done this. But I always suspected she probably would. She probably would get in late, just like, what did she endorse Cory Bush, like midnight before the primary vote or something like that? Yeah,
she always waits until it's safe.
Yeah, until it's safe, right?
Exactly.
And
because Cuomo is so odious, she can't really piss off the establishment because there's no real obvious establishment pick here.
Yeah, I think she saw that Cuomo wasn't exactly tearing it up. Maybe Mamdani had a chance to win, so maybe she figures, hey, if she backs him and he wins, she gets some more cachet, which, I mean, look, that's all typical political gamesmanship. You don't really hold it against any specific person for doing that, but this is the culture that dominates the Democratic Party. It's all gig flow. It's all, can I afford to back it? Do you have enough juice? For me to do this without causing reputational damage, reputational harm, as she's so famous for saying, myself. To me, the more surprising thing are that, and we talked about this with Shama on Tuesday, the amount of shade that the unions are throwing at Andrew Cuomo, to me, is the bigger indicator that he has a shot at an upset, because unions in big cities always just back the highest profile Democrat. They're such star fuckers. They're such clout chasers that they always just kind of, back who's likeliest to win. And in this case, they're saying don't even rank Cuomo. Now, the reason they're saying don't rank is because in a ranked choice voting situation, if you rank Cuomo as second, he could sneak in pretty easily without getting the most number of first place votes. So they're saying leave him off the ballot entirely. That indicates to me
that was invoked a lot on the debate stage. They call it DRC.
Right. And so that indicates to me that he does have a chance at an upset. It's hard for me to imagine Cuomo dropping out because it's already going to be a three-way race. Because you already have
he's exactly
Adams
the kind of douche that wouldn't.
Yeah, I think so.
Please clap.